It wasn't long ago when Jameis Winston, to me and like others, was, in my mind, a liability at the quarterback position for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I don't think anybody can even deny that, because this man, the way he was playing, it did not fit. It absolutely did not fit. Led the NFL in interceptions in 2019, threw for over 5,100 yards and 33 touchdowns, but 30 interceptions, completed 60.7% of his passes, nearly 61%. Now, I've actually had a lot of love for a guy like Jameis Winston. I predicted the Florida State win back when it was 2014, 2015. Absolutely went nuts that year. And I predicted the win, but nobody listened to me. And I'm okay with that. But what I'm not okay with is the people for the ability to sleep on this man because of the amount of interceptions he threw. I do think it's worth noting that for the way this man played against the Jaguars, I know in the preseason game, that's one of my favorite responses. People are already going to tell me it was preseason. I know, I saw it. Yep, totally understand it. However, I do think that it's worth mentioning that it is better to have some production rather than no production, i.e. what the Vikings had. In my mind. And so in my mind, I think it's important to be able to take a look at something and be honest about it, and also just be able to appreciate something when you see it. In other words, what Jameis Winston did against the Jacksonville Jaguars, I thought at least warranted a little bit of respect. Now, that throw he threw to Callaway on that bomb early, I believe it was on their first drive too. I mean, 43-yard touchdown. I mean, I get it. It is the very beginning of this, and I'm not going to sit here and say that it is nothing short of impressive, but Jameis Winston is very, 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 very clearly ready to lead this team. He's absolutely ready to lead them to where they want to go and just be an absolute force moving forward. And I'm really excited for what Jameis Winston is going to do. Before we get into why he's ready to lead the Saints, make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. Greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. Now, as it pertains to the Saints, I think it's well known that they've had the most amount of talent for a long time. They've had a lot of talent for a very long time. But in my mind, I felt like Drew Brees, to an extent, that late in his career was holding them back. And there needed to be a change in the quarterback position to be able to get them on the right track. And I think Jameis Winston is certainly that quarterback, because there's a lot of different things you have to like about Jameis Winston. Now, you can talk about the man, about how he's came back and absolutely played through it and everything. Last year, played a little bit, threw for 75 yards in the buck, completed about 64% of his passes. But at the end of the day, he's still young. He's 27. He's still athletic enough to stay in the NFL and do his thing. And just be an absolute force. I think he can absolutely come out and help this Saints team do a lot of great things. Now, the one thing I will say, though, is Marquez Callaway, I was very impressed with what I saw from him. And I do think that this could be the forming of a bond or something that could be very, very big moving forward. Now, I think it's going to be a lot. It's gonna take a little bit, but I do think that you got a player as to Callaway's ability, formerly of Tennessee, who caught 21 passes for 213 yards last year. Again, I do think a little bit of it was to the extent that Drew Brees' arm was almost completely depleted. I mean, we have to be honest about some things here. It was very clear that Jameis Winston was going to provide that aerial attack that, I mean, just Drew Brees couldn't. But now you talk about Alvin Kamara, you talk about Michael Thomas, Tre'Quan Smith, who I believe has not gotten any amount of respect that he deserves. And then you also got Marquez Callaway, who, again, yes, lit up the Jaguars, and it's the Jaguars, but at the end of the day, this is the NFL. And I don't think he could have had much better coverage, or a lot of NFL teams could have had much better coverage on that first touchdown, because, I mean, it was just one of those. It was a hell of a throw. It was a hell of a catch, and there's not a lot of things you can do about it at the end of the day. But I do think what it comes down to is these two have a special relationship. They have, and I think they're going to have a very special. They're going to be a very special duo in the NFL, especially moving forward. Now, as far as their record and everything, I'm not sure. I think they could be that, a 10-7 team, 11-6 team, and be very special. But, to me, it's really going to be a lot what the defense does. I think that's been kind of the question for a long time. I think this defense can come together, but I think at the end of the day, it's the NFL. You got to do it rather than to be about. You have to be about it rather than say you're about it. So, at the end of the day, this is a very talented team, and I think that Jameis Winston is the quarterback to take them to that next step and do a lot of great things with this team. Now, again, you got weapons on offense. We've covered all, Michael Thomas, Strickland Smith, all those guys. And by the way, Adam Trotman, I think, is going to be a very respectable tight end. Now, obviously, defensively, Cam Jordan seems ageless. Shai Tuttle's respectable. Marcus Davenport. I'm expecting something big from Marcus Davenport. I don't think he's produced like a lot of people thought, but I'm expecting something big from Marcus Davenport because I think he can absolutely come out and in a way maybe redeem his career. I think that's absolutely within his ability. You know, a guy that's 6'6", 265, a former first-round pick, out of the University of Texas San Antonio, UTSA. Out there representing. Yeah, I think he can be an absolute monster. You also talk about Quan Alexander there, Demario Davis, also Malcolm Jenkins and Marshawn Lattimore. There is talent on this team, and I think that Jameis Winston is definitely the man that will bring it to the top and make this a very dangerous team. But let us know what you think. Make sure you guys like, subscribe down below, leave a like, and a comment. Helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. We love every single one of you. Make sure you also, guys, in the description down below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. Give us a follow on all social media. We'd greatly appreciate it. And also, remember to check out our website at thesportsbeatpodcast.com. Give us a listen and a follow on iTunes. And if you have anything you would like us to cover, make sure you send that to us at thesportsbp@yahoo.com, or just put it in the comment section down below. We'll be glad to cover it. But at the end of the day, let us know what you think about Jameis Winston leading the Saints.